Philanthropy is accessible to everyone. Like you don't have to be a deep-pocketed millionaire to make a difference in your community.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Missions That Made Them. I am your host, Jason Verdelli. This isn't just a podcast, but rather it's a movement. It's a movement designed to make the world a better place by bringing more awareness to the great work of the people and organizations making a difference, and more importantly, how you can help. We live in a world today surrounded by a narrative in the media that focuses in on negativity and draws attention to the problems, but not the solutions. Our guests represent the solutions, not the problems. And with that, I am super excited to announce our guest today, Harper Merck with United Way of Dodge County. And I was on their website earlier before the interview, and they have a video on their website, which I think is absolutely incredible. And it goes into how much a single dollar a week can take and feed an entire family. In today's world, as I'm doing this, we think about the gas prices and everything else and what things cost, but the impact of what you can have for even a small amount of money and how that money gets distributed out to the organizations and people that are making that are at the ground level with us is absolutely incredible. So we're going to hear Harper's story and go into that a little bit deeper to see how we can make this world a better place and being part of that solution. So Harper, welcome.
Hello.
Excellent. Oh, absolutely terrific. It is Friday as we film this. So, got a great weekend ahead and very excited to keep moving. So, Harper, to tell us a little bit about the United Way of Dodge County and some of the things that you do. I know United Way is very, very well known for being able to support other nonprofit organizations, and each community is unique. So, just tell us a little bit about what makes United Way of Dodge County, what makes you unique.
Yeah. So, really excited to be here, by the way. It is Casual Friday here at the office. So
very casual.
We are very cash for this. But United Way of Dodge County is, so the cool thing about United Ways, and I think we were talking about this earlier, is that they're really built from the community up to really represent the needs of the community that affiliate is in and being able to address those. So as new needs emerge, we don't need like the national org to kind of get a hold of that and start working on that. We here at the local level can hit the ground running and start working on some of those needs. So all of that is, just a pretty powerful platform that we're able to do. So that's why, I'm with the United Way, is because it does have that versatility. And it's important. It's important to be able to steer your yacht where it needs to go. Not the yacht, but fishing boat.
Yeah.
But that's here we do have our 3 pillars that we really work on. And that we fully make sure that not just the financial investment, but also putting that, we're conveners, we always say, so we're pulling together strings and we're making sure that agencies are speaking to each other and are collaborating together, because we know that collaboration is how things get done. There is no single agency that can take care of the industry's problems all by themselves. And so that's one of our big tenements, is that we're working together. If you're with us, if you're one of our partner agencies, you're working with the other partner agencies, and that is a must. That is one of our, you have to be willing to enter into collaborations. You have to be willing to enter into partnerships, whatever it may be, because we're here to solve problems, not just, fund one agency's operations. So our 3 pillars we're looking at all the time is, so one is our academic success. And what does that mean? That's for kids, and especially also looking at that post-secondary education side, making sure that kids are leaving high school with a plan, and that's huge.
Big time.
To be able to have worked towards that, that's really important to us. And on the other side too, we're really focusing a lot of our time and energy right now on early childhood. Such a need. And Dodge County is, we're rural. So we could be a bit of a resource desert. And, so we have huge childcare needs right now. And so that's really where we're going to be putting a lot of our energies towards that too. So that's our first pillar. Our second pillar is personal safety and well-being, making sure that people are healthy and that they are safe. So whether that be working with the local domestic abuse advocates or working with all of our partners who are working in the mental health field, that's where that energy gets poured into. And then our last is that financial stability for families, and looking at housing security, food security, all of the things that some of us take for granted, but really are the key to making a family get by or making a family thrive. And we know that our community is built up of nothing more than our families. And so if our families are thriving, our community is thriving. And so that's where we spend our time and our energy and our investments. And we are constantly making sure that any investment that we make is kind of a solid investment as far as we're moving community needles. And so agencies need to be able to demonstrate that they can do that they can be a part of that. And so we do kind of all that vetting that most donors don't get the opportunity to do, to make sure that their dollar is doing what they want it to do.
Well, and that's what I like about the United Way is I look at it as like a mutual fund. Is say, you're taking a certain amount of investment, you're diversifying it for the needs. It's slightly different than a mutual fund, but in the sense though, you're distributing that investment. And what you really, the United Way, as I see it, is like the really good financial advisor that knows how to distribute it. That's vetting where those dollars go. Because regular Joes like me that don't know, organization. I don't always have the time. Now, me in my case, obviously, I have time to research nonprofits, but given the nature of the podcast, it's sort of what I do every day. But the everyday person out there that says, that's willing to give $5, $10, $50 a month, right? Even looking like, I love on your website, you say, $1 a week can feed a family of 4. It's incredible. I mean, think about $4. It just goes by so fast. So, I mean, being able to have that have an organization like yours, which is distributing that appropriately, is huge, right? I mean, that's
and that's definitely one of the biggest pieces of what the United Way is about. Philanthropy is accessible to everyone. You don't have to be a deep-pocketed millionaire to make a difference in your community, and that's important. When we're all contributing to the community, it becomes more of a power source that we can really be able to draw from. And that's why I love the United Way, because it does. It makes all of us be able to go from community members doing their thing to being donors and invested in our community. And at a level that like you said, I mean, it could be $1, it could be $5 out of a paycheck, whatever it is. And you might not feel that, but you're going to feel the benefit of that, because your community is going to be stronger, and your neighbors and your friends are going to be, able to get that little bit of support that they need to get back on their feet.
Yeah. I go back to the family. It was like, I think $5 a month supports, what was that stat? It was like $5 a month supports mental health an individual with mental health for like to get mental health support for like an entire month, I think, right? Just $5. I mean, you look at the comparison of where we spend $5. I mean, that's, I don't know, nowadays on Netflix and Hulu and all those things. I mean, it's, what is that, like a week's worth?
That's what
Maybe now
we were talking
like,
about. That's right now it's a gallon of gas, right?
yeah, or a gallon of gas. I mean, yeah, you fill up a gallon of gas, that number just keeps going. And then guess what? It's like, okay, we'll feed a family of four, feed a family of four, feed a family of four, feed a family of four. Say that 5 times fast, by the way. I should have did it one more time. I would have. But but you think about that. When we go to the gas pump, of course we feel the pain. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you, what your net worth is, right, or how much money you got in the bank or whatever. It's still painful to do that for what you were paying, probably twice as less, maybe a year or two ago. So at least as we do this right now, but I think that's important though to realize is that even the small amount that you do but it's worth, like you said, I love it because even $5. So just say, take $5. Everybody can give, if you have a job, whatever. I mean, you can give $5, right? We waste $5. That's maybe like 2 or 3 packs of gum. I don't know. Like, right, it's a gallon of gas, couple of packs of gum. Like, but think of the value you get out of donating those dollar amounts versus going to the gas pump. And when you think of the value, well, you're just like, okay, I might be able to drive, drive an extra 15 miles maybe or 20 miles.
Right.
What kind of car, truck you have. We're not emotionally attached to that, but man, you want to talk about even improving mental health in the process too. I mean, if you donate, you're going to feel better. And if you feel better, you're going to do everything else sort of just syncs up with that, right?
Well, and that's true too. I mean, we have science behind that too. That's saying, people who are philanthropic, and they're not saying philanthropic being, I gave $75,000 to my local library. No, they're saying if you are contributing something to the community, and you, or you're volunteering, your sense of belonging and your sense of that community ownership is so much greater than people who aren't. And that just leads to that more healthy outlook that you have, and greater personal mental health. And that's, so we feel good when we help, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. And
really good. You feel really good. I love it. I love donating.
Yeah. And the big thing is that one of the things that we do is we make sure we're not just feeding a family, because, you can feed a family and then they're going to need food again next time, or whatever. But we're really helping that family get to the point where they don't need that program anymore. We always joke how we're trying to work ourselves out of our jobs, because but we're just building and kind of tearing down that systemic problem that created that need in the first place.
Right. In the first place. Yeah.
And so working with, our partner agencies are making, we don't just give to a food pantry that gives out food. We make sure that we're giving to a food pantry that's going to do that case management work on the back end, and really make sure that that family has everything that they need to not need that service anymore. Yeah. And, and that's the important part.
You're not treating the symptom.
Mm-hmm.
You're treating the problem that's creating the symptoms.
Right.
Right. Think about that. It's like, you give to, there are, I mean, in these organizations that are treating the symptoms, I'm not trying to say that that's a bad thing. Absolutely not. Like, symptoms suck. Right. Like, going through the hard times, everything else. But to your point, I mean, through the leadership of your organization and everything, you're also guiding them. You're treating the symptoms at the same time. You're looking and trying to diagnose the problem, and then working through that. So eventually you get them through the program so you can serve more people that are coming to you with symptoms, and then saying, hey, I need the, and you're helping them kind of through that so they don't need you anymore, essentially, or need these organizations.
Right. Right. And that's where you kind of take the so what approach, right? And that's what
Right.
we do. When we do our grant allocations, we often get information like, man, we served 570 people. So what? You
Right.
need to demonstrate that those 570 people, of them, like how many improved their life because of that program,
Mm.
and so you need to answer the so what question.
This is
We
everything the organizations do, right? They have
Right.
to every year. Is it that they have to report this up to
Yep.
you?
Every year, we do our reporting back, and we also do a lot of conversations. Yesterday, we had a meeting with two of our agencies, just kind of reviewing what they've got going on and making sure, because that's the other thing we do too. We are not the police, the funding police.
Right.
We're partners, and
Sure.
so with one of them, they are having kind of some challenges that they're trying to overcome, and we're going to help figure out how we can get them there, because they're
Yeah.
important. And so that's the other side of when you're a partner, it's a two-way street, like, so
Mhm.
not just here's the money, but also how can we help? How can we,
Yeah.
what you're doing is important to us and important to our community. So we're going to go our extra step mile to get you what you need to.
Well, and you're helping them with strategy, I think. It's not just, again, here's the money. It's you're helping them with, hey, here's some direction. Here's some actual help and some guidance and everything else, which is, hey, if you're a donor, you want that, right? Because we all know we work in a company. We know there's problems, there's challenges, there's operational issues, there's hiring issues, all these things that pop up. And to work, knowing that your money is also not only just going to two great organizations, but also that you're going to an organization that's helping to optimize these organizations
Right.
in how they run, right?
So we created two programs just for that. One is our Propel, which is a leadership development program for not us, but for our agency staff. And the second one is Elevate, which is looking at that board side. So going in and helping with strategic planning, succession planning, all of those things that we know make an agency stronger, but are expensive. It's expensive to
Yeah.
bring in a consultant to do
Oh, yeah.
strategic planning. So if you're a partner agency, we will come in for free and help you with that, because it's us shoring up our investment, right? So
Right.
I
It's due diligence.
can give you $50,000 a year, but if you don't have good, strong infrastructure, you're not being as powerful with that dollar. And
Right.
so if I help you shore up your infrastructure too, man, we can move mountains then. And
Yeah.
so that's one of the other pieces that we brought in to place, just to look at that holistic approach of agency efficiency.
Yeah, you don't always think about that too. You don't, as a donor, you donate to the United Way. You don't always think about all the actual extra work, the strategic planning, all that extra work that goes into working with these organizations to optimize their output, right? their effort into what they're doing, which is absolutely incredible. So, hats off to you, Harper, with the work you guys have been doing.
We're having fun, so it's good.
Yeah, it's
it's
important.
good. It's good to solve problems, right?
Being part of being part of the solution is really the game. That's, like I said, the individual. I say it in every podcast, but the individual has the ability to make a difference. You have the ability to say, yeah, $5 a month. Maybe I start there. You don't have to really negotiate too much of your household income for $5 to give away to those that need that $5, or maybe aren't in a position where they can donate. But man, does it have a way of coming back from a karma perspective too. Not that you're doing it for that reason, not that you're doing it to sort of get a gain on your own thing, but the same time, the feeling, it is a transaction, and the feeling that you get by being able to not just donate, knowing you're helping people and organizations that can serve those people, but also an organization that's going to help to make sure that those organizations are working the best that they possibly can do to be able to serve those people. Absolutely important. Yeah. So how can somebody that is watching this saying, okay, I'm sold, I get it, I want to feel great, I want to be a part of that, I want to give $4 a week or a dollar a week or $400 a week, whatever they want to do. But how does somebody that's listening to this, how do they support your organization in particular?
Well, the easiest way is to go onto our website, which is unitedwayofdodgecounty.org. And you can read just a little bit more about what we do if you're interested. There's also a give button. And that's a really clean, easy way to say, yeah, let's do it. Let's do some investment. There's also a contact part on there where, and I get those. So if you go on there and you contact, that comes right to me. So if you're saying, hey, I want to do more. Yeah, I want to do more. I don't know what I want to do. We can be pretty creative. So, we've had people call us and say, I want my business to do something. And, and sometimes that doesn't look like the workplace campaigns with the, payroll deduction. Sometimes that looks like having food trucks at your company and us getting the proceeds. I mean, we can have a lot of fun with that kind of stuff.
Real quick, just to interject, if you're on the, I'm a marketing guy by trade. So if you're doing that, and it's not necessarily selfish, but hey, that's a really great story. So why don't you consider, reach out to your local news stations, reach out to your local news is some of the best ways to get coverage on that. And that's what I love about local news, is to be able to say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is how these local organizations are teaming up to make the world a better place. And so when you do those types of events, if you are the organization or the company, man, you can not only do great by giving to your organization, which is inherently good and everything, but it also boosts morale and everything else that goes along with that, because people want to work with an organization that has a good purpose and a mission. There's studies to back all that stuff up. But man, you do that, hey, you're going to get local coverage, everything else, or you have a better chance and likelihood to do that because it is a story. So if you're like, how does this benefit us? If for those, for some companies are saying, okay, well, hey, we need, we have limited resources and time. Well, this is that's one way to consider that. So continue.
Well, and I think that's really important right now. And some of the things that we are talking about with our companies who are fantastic donors with us and partners with us, is it does tend to make it builds the case of having them be an employer of choice if they are community minded. Especially right now when you are really competing with other companies for employees. You have a whole generation of employees who are wanting a little bit more from their employer, and that they want them to be community minded, that they want them to have volunteerism as a tenement of what they're doing. That they want them to be a bigger piece of the community, and so if we can advertise that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I read a study. I read a study on that. It was like 80%, and this is millennials. So I'm 39 as I do this. So I guess I'm considered still a millennial. I guess I'm an early millennial. But in that age bracket, especially, it's like, I think it was something like, and don't quote me on this exactly, but it was something like 80%. 80% of millennials, actually value the company values and how the company gives back to society and the community than they do their actual pay, which is crazy. I mean, not crazy to think, but that's a cultural shift. It is. You go from Gen X and everything else. Not saying Gen X is greedy, but like, the newer, I think, the younger generation that's coming up, they're being exposed to social media. So they're starting to see, oh, wow, like, all these other companies and all the good that they're doing, they were exposed to more of that. And yeah, they want a deeper meaning in things, right? They want to have more of an emotional connection because it's what they've been brought up with. They've been brought up with social media and everything else that creates that connection for them. So they expect that from their employer and anybody else that they interact with. So yeah, you talk about a really good recruiting strategy, being a part of that. I mean, easy.
Being able to demonstrate your community involvement is a huge piece
Big
of
time.
your, employer of choice portfolio. And and I'd like to say us Gen Xers, we're just meat and potatoes. We're meat and potatoes, right?
Yeah, meat potatoes, right? Yeah,
it's so important to us, but those hippie millennials.
Right. Exactly. Well, next time we jump on, I'll have to make sure I pull stats on each generation and their viewpoint on the employer on that standpoint.
Right.
But, yeah, it's fun. It's crazy though. I mean, it's awesome. It's a great shift. That the world is moving in that direction. I think that companies or employees are demanding more of their companies to be more socially responsible. And what a better way to do that than to be able to support an organization like yours and what I love about what you're doing is that you're making it creative. You could get creative with that company. They can contact you. And I mean, people, hey, you're a business in Dodge County or surrounding area, boom, go to Harper. I mean, Harper, this is who you're going to deal with. I mean, the creativity that can come out of this is awesome.
Yeah. And it's not, there's no limit, we can be as creative and unique. I mean, because we're coming, thank goodness, knock on wood, we're coming out of a pandemic lockdown situation, right? We had to be pretty creative at that time because people were not having like the pizza parties or, like they weren't doing stuff, mass gatherings like they used to.
Right.
So then we had all these companies saying, how are we going to do this? And we really had to make all of our brains work and come together with some of our partners and say, what's everyone doing? What does that feel like? And that's where being part of, we're really happy that we are that local affiliate, but having those other local affiliates say, well, we did this. And it was okay, or we did this and it really worked, everyone. So I love, when we as affiliate leaders get together and talk about what's working in their community and what's not. And some of it's like, that's great for you. I'm glad that worked for you.
Right.
It would never work here. But the other things you're like, I wonder if I could steal a little piece of that.
Yeah.
So that's just one of the benefits of being the big family that we are.
Yeah. That's all. So many great benefits to be able to get involved with your organization and the benefits to an employer, the benefits to an individual. And again, you have the ability as a company, as an individual, to be a part of the solution and not the problem. Right. And you can either expose yourself to the problem and, be consumed by the media versus consuming media. There's a big difference in that. Mm-hmm. And taking control. And the one way you can take control right now is by going to unitedwayofdodgecounty.org. Get involved. I mean, Harper, you can deal directly with Harper. Harper, I mean, you have a direct person. This isn't scary. Yeah, you're here. Yeah, like she's got some cool paintings in the background there. You have casual Fridays. You have, you're a company, you're an individual, you want to get involved. This is, you have a direct point of contact. And I think that's what's so cool about the local organizations is everybody I talk to, I've met multiple organizations within the United Way. And there's just so amazing people that run these organizations and very, 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 every single one of them is very creative. I find. So that's it seems like it's like a requirement, you being creative and working in a United Way, right?
Well, I just surround myself with creative people and then I always look good, right?
Yeah.
Just make sure they're smarter than you and more creative than you, and you look good. So
that's it.
That's my secret.
I mean, hey, you've done a great job with that. Clearly, you can see that through all the work you guys have done and you can see it through your social media accounts and everything that you push out to the world there. So, hats off to you there, Harper. So yeah, going to their website, unitedwayofdodgecounty.org. You can give today. Contacting. Is there anything else that I'm missing, Harper, in terms of how people can get involved?
No, other than if you want to follow us on Facebook, you know, and then you kind of get real time, up to date what's going on. And, you know, now that we're a little bit more free to kind of hang out with other people, we're going to be restarting some of our events again, especially our volunteer events. Awesome. So that'll all be, you know, keep your eye out, because you can be a part of all kinds of fun things coming up down the pike.
Yeah. Excellent. Harper, it's been amazing having you on the Missions That Made Them today. I'm super
excited. Thank you so much.
And, you know, your organization, you yourself, your organization, and all those amazing people that surround you, you know, you guys are really a part of the solution. You're part of everything we talk about here at the Missions That Made Them. And I'm very proud to have you on as a guest. And I'm excited to, I want to have you back on as a guest, of course, and revisit some different things that you guys are doing in the community, and to give everybody some ideas too, to how they can become part of the solution and as an individual. So I think that's really cool. So
absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Great. Well, with that said, again, everybody, one way you can get help, you can start and help not only the United Way of Dodge County, but other organizations that are connected to the United Way of Dodge County that they're working with. And, you know, you can get involved or really start to help them by sharing this video. Clicking the share button. Be sure to subscribe to the Missions That Made Them here, so you can get notifications. Be sure to smack that bell. If you're on YouTube here, be sure to smack the bell so you get the notifications when we publish new episodes. And all of these things, even the littlest things like that, there's a little sharing. That goes a long way as well. So, and again, remember, even the smallest amount of money, the smallest amount of dollars can go and make a huge difference in somebody else's life. So that's very important to remember. So with that said, thanks again for watching or listening wherever you're at, and tune in next time.